Hi guys.
We have some updating to do.
We have an update.
There is some news on Wiwi and Dodo, who are Daddy's parents who live in Colombia.
Okay, so a quick recap of what's happened so far. My mom was hospitalized last Monday because of intestinal issues. She was also swollen in her arms, her feet, her legs. When they did some scans of her stomach, they found out that her small intestine was swollen up. They also found some bacteria in there. They did some x-rays of the thorax, and they found that there was some staining on her lungs. They did an MRI right away, and then they found some crystals. Then they tested for COVID, and then she tested positive for COVID. Then immediately she was isolated to a different area of the hospital where she was. Intestinal issues are actually COVID symptoms. So right now, well, she was there for, I don't know, approximately 5 days, I believe. And then then yesterday, what was yesterday? Tuesday. Then yesterday she was discharged from the hospital. At the same moment, or the same time when they found out that my mom had COVID, my dad was sent home to be quarantined, and then they tested him. His results came back yesterday and they came out positive. So now my dad has COVID. He does have a little bit of a cough, and he told me he has a little bit of diarrhea, and he has just a little bit of like weakness, but that's all we know so far. So now they're in their apartment.
Is he having any trouble breathing?
No, he doesn't have any so far. No problem breathing. And I know they have one of those pulse oximeters where they can check their oxygen saturation and make sure that that their oxygen is good. They're on their medication, and right now my mom is doing better. She's swelling up again, but now they sent her some Diurex, and because they pumped her so much fluid while she was in the hospital that now she just needs to get rid of it. I don't think they're overly concerned about it. But
they let her out of the hospital and sent her home to recuperate.
And now we just have to wait and see. It's going to be a day by day, see how they recuperate. Hopefully everything will be fine.
So far, they both have mild cases of COVID. Because even though your mom was hospitalized with some stomach issues, the reason she was hospitalized is because they didn't know what was going on.
Right.
Now that they know it's COVID related, they're not concerned with her symptoms.
And I was talking to one of my friends from high school back in Colombia who is actually an ICU doctor. And he was telling me that he's seen so many different cases of COVID. And yesterday they had a case that it was brain COVID. It's actually the virus, instead of landing on your lungs, which usually does, or on your stomach, like in my mom's case, this landed on somebody's brain. You can only imagine how nasty that would be.
But thankfully, your parents are both doing well.
Correct. Yeah, they're doing well.
Neither of them have anything concerning at the moment, except for the fact that they're both a little higher in age, and they both are positive with COVID.
So I have had the chance to talk to my parents daily, a couple of times a day. I'm constantly checking on them, making sure that they're fine. My parents were also quarantining with my cousin, who was taking care of my mom, or helping my mom while she was in the hospital.
Before they knew it was COVID.
Before they knew it was COVID, she's quarantined as well. And I think they're waiting on her results because of the time length where she was exposed. And I believe they're going to do a test in the next couple of days or so.
So we're fairly certain that your parents contracted the virus while on a little weekend getaway,
yes,
after they were finally let off of quarantine after an extended period of time.
Right. So let me tell you what happened. So I don't know if you guys remember. I was telling you guys that the way that when COVID started, what the country did, that they started, anybody over the age of 70 basically had to be locked down. Stay at home. You're not allowed to come out. My dad is 74. He stayed indoors for 8 months or so. When the ban was lifted, when they were allowed to come out, they took a small trip to the mountains with my aunt and my mom. And we don't know if my aunt brought the virus along with her or if they contracted while they were there. Anyway, my aunt is actually, she presents symptoms. She does have the fever. She does have the breathing issues, but not
to the extent where she's hospitalized.
Or anything,
right.
No. I talked to her daughter, and she told me that she's at home, she's quarantining. She has chosen not to test herself because she's afraid of what people are gonna think.
That one's tough because on one hand, you kind of understand that you don't want to be judged by the people around you. On the other hand, you kind of need to know if you're positive or not so that you can make sure and maintain everyone else's safety around you. Now, I understand that she's quarantining, and that's obviously best case scenario.
Right, and I believe and I hope that she is, when she's quarantining, that she's not actually allowing anybody in or that she's going out. And I hope she's not. But nonetheless, I know my parents are comfortable at home, which is the most important thing for us. Other than that, I just want to thank you guys for, keeping them and keeping us in your thoughts. This definitely has boosted our spirit a lot. I know it has. And wear your masks, wash your hands, keep your social distance.
The good news is Wiwi and Dodo are fine. The bad news is Wiwi and Dodo are positive for COVID. Hopefully they will continue to just get better and they won't need another stay in the hospital. I just want to make clear that Wiwi was not in the hospital because she was sick with COVID. She was in the hospital because they didn't know what was wrong with her and she had some serious inflammation and some pain in her stomach. Once they knew what it was, though, they let her go home and said, okay, you're good. Go ahead and recuperate at home. And they're not worried about her. So if they're not worried about her, we shouldn't be worried about her. Just let her get better. Hopefully we won't have any more troubles, but she is going to keep us in the loop. She's going to let us know how she's feeling, and she's going to keep a close eye on Dodo as well. So just in case you're wondering, you don't have to worry. But it is time to put my Smarty Pantses to bed.
Yay!
So,
if you like this video, give it a thumbs up for make this channel strong. Share it with your friends. And now, good night, YouTube. See you tomorrow. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe now. Please subscribe. Touch it. Poof. Get better, Wiwi and Dodo.